Sweden is suffering from a gun crime epidemic. In the last year alone, violence fueled by the drug trade has seen over 340 shootings, a dozen bombings, and kidnappings, leaving close to 50 people dead. I've come to find out how deep inequality, a steady flow of weapons into a country, and a legal system that people say is failing all sides has pushed gun homicide rates here to be one of the very highest in Europe. And I'm discovering the despair and hopelessness that's leaving in its wake. In central Stockholm, it's hard to imagine that this city is racked by gun violence. Is this Marley?
Yeah.
Marita left the UK fearing it was too dangerous there for her son Marley. 7 years ago, he was shot dead on the streets of Stockholm.
He was my absolute life. He was everything.
Like most gun homicide investigations in Sweden, there was no justice for Marley. No witnesses came forward, and the case was dropped.
Our kids are actually dying. Weekly, mother after mother after mother is burying their kids. And it's kids.
I walked around the centre of Stockholm. There wasn't many police. It was happy tourists. But when you get into the suburbs, that's when you hear the stories of the boys and the girls that have been shot.
It's like two different countries. It's like these areas is now a part of the rest of Sweden. It's just two separated countries.
On the surface, Rinkeby on the outskirts of Stockholm looks like any other town. But the suburbs here have grown a reputation as the epicentre of gun crime. If Sweden is as segregated as they say, then this forest is an example of that. Over there, there's a nice middle-class suburb. Across the road, there's Rinkeby, a more poorer ethnic community. In 2015, a man was literally shot dead in this forest. His murder led to a series of shootings. 10 people shot dead, former friends became two rival gangs, all whilst the people of Rinkeby tried to live normal and safe lives. This one local rivalry saw nearly a dozen murders in less than 5 years. Journalist Diamant Salihu's book, Until Everyone Dies, tells the story of how friends became enemies.
So this conflict started here, where a 19-year-old got killed. Then it has continued with more murders. I would describe it as a very segregated area.
In January 2018, this pizzeria was the site of a gangland murder, as a teenager shot another man to death, hitting him with 2 bullets, one to the throat and the other to his head. It was a 16-year-old that committed the murder here, so it's not just hit men, it's actually hit boys, but why are they doing it?
If you're under 18, you can maximum get 4 years in youth custody instead of prison in Sweden. There are boys that are prepared to take 4 years in custody to become a part of a gang, to show their loyalty to the gang leaders.
At Rinkeby's new multi-million euro bullet and bomb-proof police station, I joined officers Risa and Michael for their shift. Last year, a police officer was shot dead. This is a country where the police need protection, and so did I. Do you feel safe when you wear this?
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a few turns from the station, suspected gang members were spotted. A stop and search began.
Hej! Hur är det?
Michael and Risa work as a team.
Nej, han kan du ID. Han skulle vilja ha ID på.
As Risa calms down the public, Michael searches for guns.
So how hard is it knowing that you can stop someone, you can search them, but that one time they'll be lucky or you'll be unlucky?
Yeah, but they have to be lucky all the time and we only have to be lucky one time.
Ooh.
The police did catch the pizzeria murderer, but astonishingly, this month, less than 4 years since the shooting, he'll be back on the streets in Rinkeby.
Are the laws strong enough to help you and your colleagues?
No, the law is not helping us, not at all. The laws are against the police. That's really what I feel.
The Swedish government told us they had increased sentences and police levels, and last year imprisoned a record number of offenders.
There will be some of them.
In the office, the weapons the police have recently seized hang on the wall like trophies. Each gun captured, a potential life saved.
On this wall, there's handguns, there's shotguns, there's an Uzi, there's explosives. Why do they need such a video game style array of weapons?
They need it to protect their drugs, and also that they can also kill their enemies. That's what they do, that's the way it works.
To really understand why Sweden's criminal gangs have become so dangerous, I had to travel south to the country's third city, Malmö, a city famous for footballer Zlatan Ibrahimovic, one of the world's greatest strikers, but the place where this country's gun crime problems emerged in the mid-2000s. It's here that I met an ex-gang member and his friend, a survivor of a gangland shooting. Despite fearing for their lives, they paid their respects to those killed during the fighting. Yet only months after leaving prison, the ex-gang member told me he would still carry a gun when needed.
I det livet man lever i, man måste skydda sig själv. Man kan inte förvänta sig att polisen ska komma och skydda dig.
The victim says he was shot after refusing to sell drugs for a local gang. His wounds have healed, even with a bullet still lodged in his head. But he lives on with the mental trauma.
Han åkte från Irak för att slippa krig, så kommer till Sverige och blir skjuten här. Han är totalt förstörd.
How hard is it for anyone who's in the networks or in the gangs or living that lifestyle to put the gun away and walk away?
Mycket svårt. Mycket svårt. Därför de ser inget annat alternativ. Samhället erbjuder inte just så mycket. Men det har blivit lite bättre. Men det krävs mycket mer för att många mer ska lägga ner vapnet.
It's said there's at least one illegal gun for every gang member in Sweden, with the vast majority coming from abroad.
If Sweden is to stop people being shot dead, it faces two challenges: end gang culture, but also stop the illegal flow, or in this case, traffic of weapons to their country. Now, this bridge and the sound you can hear is that of commuters going back and forth from mainland Europe. But for criminals, this is a gateway to bring over drugs and guns to their towns and cities.
Malmö police have adopted a new tough initiative from America. Whenever a gangster commits a shooting, the force close in on every gang member's criminal activities. This has seen a drop in gun crime, but without social change from opportunities to integration, the police here won't dream of a day when all shootings end. To avoid the street life, young people need an alternative. Malmö Tigers offers that. And that's where Sweden's #1 wrestler, Alex Beaker, dreams of going to the Olympics.
Well, I have friends that are dead. We went to the same school. I have friends that are in prison. So I'm glad that I chose these mats instead of the streets.
And will it be important for an area like Malmö to have another Zlatan Ibrahimovic in yourself?
Zlatan is always going to be the superstar, you know, even for me. No, but I think it's important to have people to look up to, and I'm very glad and very happy to see younger kids look up to me. Feels important.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I wondered how many potential heroes are already buried in Sweden's cemeteries. Malmö Tigers can't save everyone. These disadvantaged communities on the outskirts of Swedish life are in need of laws that can't be exploited by the gangs, and a society that gives equal access to a life free from violence.